Okay, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to 144,000, the rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the priest, is Zion, Virginia, Atlanta. Back with another edifying video. And I was watching the Apostle Har's video earlier this morning. Let's see here. I'll find it in a second. I lost my point. Okay. So this is from his lesson, Back to the Basics. What or who is the beast in the book of Revelation? When this lesson was on, he was speaking about universal basic income. He was making a statement about how they want to replace citizens in these workplaces and jobs with AI and robots, and then give the citizens a universal basic income monthly. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna scroll to that point. I'm gonna let him speak and give the information, and then I'm gonna go into a topic based on this, because what prompted me to do this lesson was him speaking on the universal basic income. But then I thought about how they're going to distribute it, which is going to be based on digital currency, but also you're going to have to pretty much qualify to get it. Meaning, you're going to have to be a part of the system in order to get the universal basic income, which is digital ID. So I looked that up, but before I get to that point, I want to play some of Apostle Har's video, and then I'll go into
let me do this.
The next part of the lesson, or the main part.
Is it
so let me just find the right spot.
The system works. It stands for universal basic.
Okay, so let me go back.
Where they think they're gonna keep going, because, and robots is the thing of the future. So everybody gonna get checked.
You went into it. Bear with me a second.
Make big decisions, programmed by fellows with compassion and vision. Wise people will be clean,
so this is it.
Or righteous or holy. When that work is done, will be eternally free, yes, and eternally young. That's Psalms 140, was it Psalms 49 and 11, where they think they're going to keep going, and robots is the thing of the future. So everybody's going to get checked, but you got to get a check. What a beautiful world this will be. What a glorious time to be free. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's their...
He's speaking on a song, and the song lyrics are mentioned about machines and robots.
But listen to this song if you haven't listened.
So he's just breaking it down, but he's going to get into the UBI and get into the universal basic income.
UBI. UBI meaning. UBI stands for Universal Basic Income. They might mention Yang or Wang's name in here. It is a social welfare. By the way, we're not. This system is not a democracy. It's a democratic, socialist system, which most European countries are democratic. I met people from France and different parts of the world. If there's 150 million grown-ups, 18 or able to vote.
Okay, let me move forward just a
Anytime there's a
little bit.
law wins, right? That's true democracy, which is a series of referendums. Look up the word referendum. See, y'all don't know how the system works. See, we know how the system works, and we know how to filter it through the scriptures. If you knew how the system worked, you would not be teaching that the mark of the beast is sent into all of its forms. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Hey, like Trump, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It is a social welfare program where everybody gonna be on welfare. All citizens of a given population and everything. Another thing, a part of the MOTB system is 15-minute cities. Their plan is to do away with cars. Regularly receive
Yeah, that's why you got these, and you can notice in these different cities. I know here in Atlanta we see them. They got them Waymo cars. Sometimes you might see people driving them, but a lot now is you have these Waymo cars that are like driverless cars. And now you can book. I seen it earlier this week. Right, so I might have to do a lesson on that. But the automatic rides, the Waymo cars, now you can book a Uber and ride in these Waymo cars here in Atlanta. I know they got them out there in California, but they're now, now they're here in Atlanta, and that's, just like what Apostle Howard is saying, that's a part of this this coming system, the digital MOTB system, and that's what these elites want to bring. Okay.
A minimum income, typically.
So them doing away with cars, and then they're going to bring in
without any work requirements,
driverless
welfare state, or means.
Okay, so let's listen to a little bit
testing,
more.
According to Wikipedia and the Investopia, this payment is intended to be unconditional and regular. You're supposed to get it every month or every week, such as monthly, like you get your welfare checks and your food stamps, and is meant to ensure a basic standard of living for everyone. Socialism, according to the standard basic income lab. They didn't mention Wang. He was the first one. What does
Okay, so he spoke on the universal basic income, and that's what led me to look it up and then see how they're going to attach it to the digital ID. So I went into it here and I looked it up. So I said digital ID and universal basic income, because this is what the microchip, the MOTB, the implant, this is what is going to be used. The system that the MOTB is going to use is going to be this universal basic income digital ID system, and it's going to be around the world, the whole planet. Okay, the whole planet, including the beasts, including NATO, the EU, America, Babylon. And then that's when the great temptation is going to take place, which is what I call the great implantation, because they want to implant you with this technology, whether it be in your brain, like the Neuralink, or whether it's in your hand and you use your, your hand, right or left hand to buy and purchase. So let me look this up. So here, biometricupdate.com, and I always go into this site here. This is a good site. If you want to know how they're pushing the MOTB, and if you want to get deep, then go to biometricupdate.com and you'll be locked in, okay? Locked in the spirit with it. You'll have a better understanding. So it says optimistic plan would pair universal legal identity with basic income program. Okay? And this is from 2 days ago. Okay? So let's look at this here. All right, here's the website, biometricupdate.com. All right, and this is from the 23rd. Okay, Monday. Hold on, let me go back. So this is from Monday. Optimistic plan would pair, right? Pair means to put together universal legal identity with basic income program. Okay, so this is the next, another step toward the MOTB implant, the Humanity Identity Card. So it says a new paper calls the lack of legal identity for millions of people around the world one of the most morally grave public problems of our age, and proposes an identity card system that would grant legal identity, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, geographic location, occupation, or any other personal attribute. So let me just get the precept. See, this is why GMS has 100% true on the MOTB, the mark of the beast. I know I've been saying that a lot, but everything just lines up, right? So let's go to Revelation 13. Because when you say that you want to give legal identity and rights and services to people, no matter their status, then that lines up with the mark of the beast. Okay? Because what is one of the characteristics of the prophecy? What is one of the signs in the prophecy of the MOTB? Right? Verse 16, Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Right? So if you're rich, then you have an abundance of money, maybe 100,000 and up, or 100 million and up, right? Talking about, really rich. Okay? Only to what, 500 million billionaires rich, but then you have the poor. Well, you got the middle class, 100,000, 250,000 on down, and then you got the poor that makes less than that. But then you have the homeless as well, who's sleeping on the side of the road, living in cardboard boxes, living behind buildings, having to shuffle through trash cans for food. But what the mark is going to do, the mark is going to give everyone, no matter your status, no matter if you make a lot of money, little money, or no money, it's going to give you the ability, and I'm going to read it, to buy and sell. So it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in, not on, in. It's not a tattoo. Okay, you put tattoos on the skin, but you put microchips in the skin, in the right hand, or in, not on the forehead, not a number, not a 666 tattoo, but in their foreheads, which would be a brain implant. Okay? To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. So if you want to live in this future society, you're going to have to get the mark in order for you to buy what you need. and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So with them doing what they're doing here with this humanity identity card, right, this legal identity is given all people no matter what, right? It says, and proposes an identity card system that would grant legal identity regardless of nationality, ethnicity, geographic location, occupation, or any other personal attribute. So if you're homeless, then you can get this ID, right? If you're rich, then you get the ID. Published in Humanities and Social Sciences Communications, the paper classified, so this is based off of a paper, right? They've been writing this thing up. It's a plan, okay? Or a scheme or an agenda. Okay, it says it's a plan, right? The paper classifies the inability to obtain public recognition of one's existence. So someone that's homeless cannot get public recognition without a legal identity. The paper classifies the inability to obtain public recognition of one's existence. One buzzword going into this digital ID system in this New World Order is proof of personhood. Okay, look up proof of personhood. Matter of fact, I'll look it up right now. Okay. Proof of personhood. See, these are buzzwords for the coming MOTB. Proof of personhood. AI overview. Proof of personhood, POP, is a method of digitally verifying that an online account or action is linked to a real, unique human being. Like even now, you got these captchas, right? Where they make you solve a puzzle. Here it is, you try to go on a website or a link, and then this little web page pops up, and it tells you to verify if you're a human or a robot, and you got to solve a puzzle or type in a number. That's called a captcha. Well, now they're calling it proof of personhood. It's part of the same system. So it says, a method of digitally verifying that an online account or action is linked to a real, unique human being, rather than a bot or automated system. And they've already been slowly implementing this system anyway. Like I mentioned, the captcha. It's a way to establish digital identity in online environments, particularly in decentralized systems, to prevent fraud and ensure fair participation. And that's going to be a part of the digital ID. So even this here is a part of that system. It says published in Humanities and Social Sciences Communications, the paper classifies the inability to obtain public recognition of one's existence, right? You got to prove you're a person or online, and you got to have eventually an ID as a person alongside food insecurity and hunger. Right, you want to eat, then you're going to have to get a digital ID. The most severe, it identifies it as the most severe deficiencies and vital and existential human capabilities, which have led to scandalous inequalities. So read a little bit more. There are an estimated 850 million people around the world who lack legal proof of identity. And addressing that lack is one of the UN's, United Nations, Sustainable Development Goals. Identity exclusion is a focus of a recent report from Women in Identity. Yeah, see, the women's always involved in with the serpent, Eve. whether it's an Edomite woman or you know, the so-called black women in general. You know, it's part of civil rights and so forth. So it says lack of identity exposes global inequality in the domain of access to human rights. It says, if you cannot prove who you are deprived of access. Hold up. Let's go back to the prophecy. See, they're setting the system up, making it prime and ready before they introduce the implant. Right? Revelation 13:17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You would not be able to participate in society, get benefits, purchase anything without being a part of the digital ID biometric system. You're going to have to get the implant. That's how they're going to identify you. That's how you're going to prove your personhood, ultimately. That's how you're going to prove your legal identity. It all makes sense. And if you can't see it, then the Lord just ain't dealing with you and you're not the elect. Let's the Most High, Yahweh, open your eyes. Okay? But it's clear. It's clear. Okay? It's perfectly becoming more and more crystal clear that the MOTB will have to be the MOTB is the microchip implant, and that means GMS is 100% right. Okay? Let's get the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Because it says that the prophecies, the visions, will be clear to see in the last days. Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So that means somebody will have to have the whole 100% truth about the vision, about the prophecies. Well, that's a great millstone. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it. Just because you're not seeing it when you want to see it, or when we say it is what it is, there will be a point that there's going to start to manifest. You know, 10, 15 years back, everyone was getting on GMS about the MOTB being the microchip implant and the digital system. Now you got IOIC adding digital ID to the breakdown of the mark of the beast, the MOTB. It's on video. Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Nate, he mentioned about the charagma. Even though he tied it back to Nero in 666, but he knew that word because we've been putting it out there. GMS has been speaking on it, and he probably studied it. But because he sold out, and we believe he sold out, he can't go into that full breakdown on it. But the Deacon Malachi did a lesson not too long ago, and he mentioned about the digital ID and the Catholic Society. This is what GMS has been saying. Okay, so either Nate is going to wake up to it, maybe General Yohana, Captain Desire can wake up to it. You know, that's up to the Lord. But as of now, they're blinded. Okay, but it's looking. We believe more and more that they sold out because they're not teaching the whole truth about the MOTB. But Deacon Malachi of the IUIC, he can see that the digital ID is a part of the prophecy. Okay, it says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, meaning it's not going to linger. It's going to come. It's going to take place, and we're seeing it take place. Okay? We're seeing it take place. Okay, let me read this again. So it says, lack of legal identity exposes global inequality in the domain of access to human rights. Right, access. It says, if you cannot prove who you are deprived of access to a host of public services. Right, so let's say we here at GMS, we don't take the MOTB implant, then we would be denied access to public services, healthcare, You won't be able to get a job. You won't be able to make any money, access your bank account. You won't be able to buy and sell because we're not going to be linked into the system, which is what that implant is going to give you access to. Okay? It says legal protection in case of abuse and all sorts of social welfare provisions, especially women. These women out here are finished through because they deny. Here, you got a lot of single baby mamas and you know, just women with kids, men that rely on their women's benefits. So, and then Isaiah the 32nd chapter, I'm not going to get it, but it says that the woman will be in trouble. Okay? The vintage shall fail. The gathering shall not come. Tremble ye women that are at ease. Isaiah 32:9 on in. And a lot of these men are going to follow behind their women because they eat off of those benefits and, as it says here, social welfare provisions. EBT and all of that, so they're going to get locked into that, and when they introduce the microchip implant, then they're going to take it. These niggas out here, they're going to take it. These Edomites are going to take it, and you Israelites that aren't listening to GMS, you're going to take it too, because you've been listening to General Yohana, Bishop Nathaniel, Priest Zabot, because they don't push it. You got major Israelite groups that don't push that the MOTB is the implant, the biometric, the microchip implant. Then they're going to lead their congregation into a ditch because they're blinded and their leaders are blind. Okay, Yahushua spoke on that. Now here it says the author, researchers from the Migration Policy Center, Migration, at the European University Institute proposed a universal humanity identity card. So it's a proposal coupled with a basic income supplement, all right, BIS, of US $1 per day for the most vulnerable half of the world's population. So this is all around the world. Listen, the MOTB will be all around the world. It's a prophecy. Read Revelation 3rd chapter, okay, verse 10. The hour of temptation which shall come upon the whole world and all the earth. It says defined here as those living on less than $6.85 per day or less than $2,500 per year. So let's say you're in a rural part of Australia, you're an Australian Aborigine, which are of the sons of Japhet in the Bible. The sons of Japhet are living somewhere in the Australian desert, but they need access to water. And who controls the water? The Australian government, which were occupied by the Brits going back in history, the white man. So what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to get basic income supplement. They'll send water and irrigation to those villages out there. I'm just giving you an example of, a scenario. Villages in Africa, okay, East Africa, the Congo somewhere. Oh, down in them Amazon villages, okay, because you do have a lot of so-called primitive tribes, primitive people all over the world that still do deals and get access to certain supplies and benefits like medicine and water from Esau. So if they want to continue to get that, then they're going to have to get the basic income supplement, the legal identity, all of that, digital ID, okay? It says the HIC, the HNIC, the HIC, the humanity identity card, which will be the implant, okay? It'll go past the card, it'll go to an implantable microchip, will permanently provide universal recognition of individual identity, while the BIS is designed, the basic income supplement, okay? I guess there's another, which, here in America they call it universal basic income, is designed to be gradually phased out Okay, so it's going to be phased out. While the BIS is designed to be gradually phased out as its benefits take effect. Right, because you'll be getting fed directly from the system, which will eventually require an implant. However, somewhat paradoxically, the paper says the primary intended use of the Humanity Identity Card is to indicate whether the holder is eligible for a basic income supplement, BIS. Okay? This is the next step to the MOTB. So this is a lot of good information, man. A lot of good information. Okay. So this is a proposal. Okay.
Shalom.
And Apostle Hart, he did a recent video also today on matter of fact, let's go back here. Let's do this. Let's go to YouTube. Okay, let's go to Apostle Hart's channel. Right? In this video he just put up 2 hours ago, RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the son of Robert F. Kennedy, which is the brother to the former president. He was unalive, John F. Kennedy. Wants all U.S. citizens, RFK Jr. wants all U.S. citizens to be what? Micro-CHIPed, right? Which is what? One step closer to the you-know-what, right? The MOTB. And then you can watch this video. It's not even 10 minutes long, 9 minutes and 22 seconds long, and you'll get a quick video on what they want to do here in America. Okay? So this is what it's talking about. Why? Because they want to be able to identify every citizen in America. Okay? It's a little bit more on this. All right, because I just want to read what this is about. Okay, here we go. So it says financial inclusion is a prominent enabler. Why is it all about finances? Because it's about the elite banking families that have control of the world's wealth, the world's money. The top families of Esau, which are Amalek. Okay, the small hats. Financial inclusion is a prominent enabler of the SDGs, according to the UN Capital Development Fund. Universal basic income was also central to World's original pitch for identifying everyone in the world with its iris biometrics. Okay? Let's look up this link to this article here. Right? Here we go. Look at this. This is from 2021. Solving world poverty with cryptocurrency and a silver ball-shaped iris biometric scanner. Biometrics is a part of the MOTB digital ID system. But how are they going to do it? They're going to do it. It's going to go beyond facial recognition and iris recognition and palm scanning. They're going to put the technology inside of you. Okay, they're going to put it in your hand and your brain. Okay? So this is a step closer. This sounds like the prophecy in Revelation 13:16, because it is. It's coming to pass. It says that they shall make an image, which is a system, a new way of life. Okay? Which is based off of the old system of ancient Rome. All right? It says universal basic income was also central to World's original pitch for identifying everyone in the world with this iris biometrics. The human identity card could be distributed in a worldwide campaign. Oh, wait, through delegated offices of the UN or a specialized union agency. Let's get another scripture. Let's go to Revelation I said I wasn't going to get it, but I guess the Spirit wanted me to bring it out. Revelation 3. And 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay? So so when the MOTB comes, the hour of temptation, which is when you break this down in the Greek, it breaks down to trial by piercing. They're going to pierce you with an implant. Okay? That's going to be the time when they're going to introduce the MOTB. Okay? Here it says individuals will register personally, free of charge. Right, that's what they said about getting the jump shot. It was free, and they'll give you hamburgers and French fries. You know, that whole BS. You know, back during the last crisis, it says with their name, date, and place of birth, photograph, fingerprint or iris scan recognition, so all your information, and indication of whether they require food assistance. The data will be collected and stored exclusively by the UN with the proviso that it would not be shared with any other organization, including sovereign states. So I could see the UN being a part of the MOTB distribution system. Even when they push the microchip, I can see the UN being a part of it, which it would be pushed by the beast, which is NATO and America, but other countries as well. Because you got other countries that aren't a part of NATO that are part of the UN. So that's it. That's basically the point. I wanted to get this too, WorldCoin. Let's look this up. WorldCoin. This is NFTexplain.info. Right? Remember the NFTs? Here you go, the big I. What symbol is this? That's the symbol of the illuminated ones behind the scenes. WorldCoin, pioneering digital identity and universal basic income. And they're going to use biometrics to do it. And this is what they want. They want to be like the Most High, but the Lord is going to bring them down. So it says Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is spearheading a groundbreaking project known as WorldCoin, a cryptocurrency designed to create a global digital identity system. This is why we're seeing that happen in different countries around the world. I've been doing videos on it for the last few years now, and potentially lay the groundwork for universal basic income. Backed by major investors like Andreessen Horowitz. Horowitz, that's the name of the you-know-who's, the small hatters. WorldCoin's mission is ambitious to provide every person with a secure, verifiable digital identity while addressing key economic and social challenges posed by the rise of AI and automation. So this is all a part of what? Causing all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Right? So they're going to add it with AI. Look at this. I'll read this here and I'll close. WorldCoin is more than just a cryptocurrency. It's designed to solve the problem of digital identity verification. With the proliferation of bots and fake accounts online, verifying that someone is a real, unique human being, right? Proof of personhood, I spoke on that. Legal identity, I spoke on that, has become increasingly important. WorldCoin tackles this through its innovative biometric technology in the form of an orb, which scans the iris of the eye. Next is going to be scanning the hand or scanning the brain. Due to the unique entropy it contains, each iris is tied to a digital wallet. They're going to tie it to the biometric implant. We're getting close, but this is what they want to set up. Each iris is tied, or in the future, each chip is tied to a digital wallet or digital passport and ensures that digital identities are tied to real people. The ultimate goal is to create a system where users are able to receive universal basic income UBI, especially in a world where automation could displace millions of jobs. The ORB, World Coins Identity Verification Tool. So you get the point. You know, you can go back and you can watch Apostle Har's videos, his last 2 videos today, right? About the beast. Back to the basics. What or who is the beast in the book of Revelation? RFK Jr. wants all U.S. citizens to be microchipped one step closer, right? And then you can watch the video that I'm doing now. Okay, I typed in digital ID and universal basic income. So this is the future goal of the elites of Esau, right? Optimistic plan would pair universal legal identity